when someone that you have been calibrating to, and you were calibrating to a physical person, and that's why it's quite a shock when they make their transition, because it feels like a big loss at first. But then that knowing what you don't want launches rockets of desire, and then you begin looking toward where you think that she might now be. And because she is aware of you and focused upon you, in moments where you are not in distress, you make that energetic rendezvous, and then you discover that non-physical is real. That's the best thing about people croaking, because sometimes you don't even think much about that until somebody that you care about does. And then it does introduce that whole new awareness of the wholeness of all of this, how we are all in this together. Everyone who makes their transition is still fully focused with you all, interested in what they were interested in, with a capacity for interest beyond your ability to comprehend, but interested. And when you tune to the frequency of that non-physical, you do feel more life force flowing through you.
And we speak about the connection of the dots, and looking back and connecting the dots of instances and occurrences of my life and contrast to put me in the place now to actually teach that moving forward. But when I received the vibrational...
But here's the thing. Now don't misunderstand that, because we are certain that she is not encouraging you to look to the past for your teaching, because what that implies is that you are looking at what has been rather than reveling in what has become. And then you're finding a frequency that almost evokes similar traumas in others that then in a group you're wanting to overcome. And it's the hard way. That is not the path of least resistance. It's the path of human logic, but it is not the path of least resistance. So as a teacher, this is what you are wanting to remember, and you're a good teacher. This is what you're wanting to remember. Everyone, the diversity of experience, of exposure, of connection, of allowing, of resistance, of desires, the clustering because of law of attraction, of this point of view and this point of view and this point of view. The thing most important to remember is that there isn't a right side of anything. Because if there's a right side, then you want to look at what was the wrong side. Jerry always said, I see this thing I do not want, and I'm going to make it go away from me. And then he would say, and all the pressure that I put on it, it put on me. And during the time that that is happening, there is no alignment, there's no empowerment, there's no clarity. There's just more standing in a place of trying to define right and wrong, which gets you nowhere, because that's a flawed premise. Where you pick that up from doesn't matter so much, but try to get over it, because you didn't say, I'll come into my body, but before I get there, you guys all decide what's the right thing. And when you get that all decided, I'll float in and we'll get along real good. Because you knew it was the variety that would give you the unique request which you have the right to fulfill, but not the right to demand that anyone else agree with or fulfill. Oh yeah, love is love. And there's a lot of harmony. There's a lot of things that you do all agree on. But the path to what you're teaching is not about figuring out what's wrong.
So when we have the desires and we shoot off those rockets of desires and we receive the vibrational manifestation first, we sometimes...
What do you mean? Give us more about that.
Sometimes in meditation, sometimes an image will be revealed, or a synchronicity will occur, and you know you're headed in the right direction, you're floating downstream. But at times you may receive an overload of that information, and
never an overload. It's just more than you can take in. And it's because you're usually trying too hard. This is really what we're getting at here with you. We said it earlier. It's like when there's a manifestation, even one that is a vision that you see or something you dream while you're asleep. When there's a manifestation, that makes you want to jump in with action to solve it. That's what that overload feels like, because it isn't the action that solves it. It's the vibrational alignment with the power that comes forth from within you. And then the steady focus of that energy toward what is wanted, until the desire that you have and you are so much the same frequency that you must be together. You don't get to where you're going by getting rid of everything that's in the way, because you can't get rid of anything that's in the way, because your attention to it causes it to stick to you like glue.
And you're on, what I'm sensing is the balance, or almost kind of counter action or counterintuitive, the allowance of that versus
of what?
The allowance of the desire to take its form in the physical, and then the inspired action on the other side to actually create.
Well, that's just the best, to feel the essence of it and stand in your place of satisfaction, because you know how this works. You know, if you stand in a place of desire without resistance, which means you're eager, you're happy, you're satisfied with what is and eager for more, then it must continue to unfold in your experience in a way that is so satisfying.